We should be live now. Have a great meeting, all.
Okay, thank you, Noah, for that, Daryl. So good morning, everyone, and welcome to our political liaison meeting of September 11th. I'll first look to the adoption of the agenda if there are any additional items, or looking to mover and seconder to adopt our political liaison agenda.
I'll move.
It's moved by Michelle, seconder,
Audrey.
seconded by Audrey, to adopt our political liaison agenda again for September 11th. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. We do not have any delegations or presentations for this meeting. I'll look to then the adoption of the political liaison minutes of August 14th.
I'll move.
I'll second.
Moved by Michelle, seconded by Carrie on the political liaison minutes. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The next item on our agenda is the Parks and Recreation August 23 report. I believe it's within your Dropbox. If there's any questions or comments in relation to the Parks and Rec report.
Chief, I have a question.
Sure. Michelle.
Okay, so read the report. That's good. Things are happening at Parks and Rec. Can we revisit getting Wi-Fi in our public buildings, especially over at the arena and the Joe?
Yes, that was, I know, thanks for bringing that up, Michelle. I know IT was already looking into that part, so it's a follow-up on that piece, so I'll look to do that and bring it back for an update. Are there any further questions or comments?
If I just have a comment, Sherry Lynn.
Sure, Sherry Lynn.
I just want to say the staff at for the Ontario's fastball tournament, they were great. They did an excellent job, and if you needed anybody, they were around to do the work. So they did very well to help out do the lines for the diamonds and everything. So it was good to see. Great job.
That's really, really good to hear. Thank you, Noah, for that. Sherry Lynn, I know they were also super busy with obviously the fair preparations. So I know the staff have been working quite diligently. So do appreciate that comment. Are there any further questions or comments in relation to the Parks and Recreation report?
I wanted to say concerning the athletes that Sherilyn just mentioned. Whatever happened to the information that was supposed to get out? What happened here? Because most of us didn't know that this was happening. And I know we got the email from Helen and Sherilyn, so it's a disappointment because others may have been able to attend also.
Okay, so on that piece, so that was a motion that was passed from council about a month and a half ago, which trickled down to Lee Thompson, which was our new hire for the event coordination. So I know that was something that if councillors were able to attend the fair, that was going to be happening in collaboration with the fair. So do apologize if there was any miscommunication, but I know that was passed last about a month and a half ago from this council to do something for the athletes. As you recall, it was came out of the NAG athletes as well. We were trying to be equal and fairly and recognizing and creating the awareness.
Thank you.
Thanks for that, Melba. Helen.
I just wanted to say, first of all, I didn't even know this woman, Lee Thompson, was doing anything. But anyway, there wasn't a whole lot of information went out. it was disappointing that there wasn't more athletes there, but I wondered now if the athletes even knew they were supposed to be there. I guess some of them knew. I don't know if they all knew. And it was just some information should have been presented to council to let us know that there was nothing arranged for council even to do anything or to be there. She assumed we were all going to be there, but I guess if she never sent out information, when I seen it on the agenda, I assumed that everything was all arranged, everything was set. I just assumed that you would be there, Mark, because it was your idea when I read it. So I wasn't even concerned when I seen it on the agenda at the fair and I was selling tickets and that. I wasn't concerned about it till she come up there and I think she talked to Sherry Lynn and wanted to know who's good, if council was going to be there, if the chief was going to be there, if council was going to be there, who was going to come and do it, this, and this. That's when we found out there was nothing arranged with council. So that was the big thing, but it was good that me and Sherry Lynn were there because Sherry Lynn did a really good job. I guess hosting the ceremony. She did a really good job. Everybody was pleased. The athletes were all pleased with what we did. I've seen some comments on Facebook how happy the kids were. So that was really good. But it was, to me, it was poorly advertised. It was poorly organized, and we need to work better on doing our things. If it's going to be council, if council is the one that's going to be set in front of her, then we need to do better with our communications. That's all.
Okay, thanks, Helen, for your comments as well. And again, do want to say Nyawa and thank you to Sherry Lynn and yourself as well for participating in that portion of the fair. And I do agree. I know we'll touch base with Lee in terms of future events and planning and what we can learn from this one. Are there any further comments or questions? Sorry, go ahead, Michelle.
So thanks Sherry Lynn and Helen for being there. It was a busy weekend and I even know for my son, they couldn't be there. They were playing lacrosse. So weekends to recognize people is pretty hard because sports carries on. So with that, can we then advertise over the next couple of weeks, all our athletes? I mean, we have, a player down in Missouri State playing baseball and everybody that is, everywhere they are, they're back in school. So if we could do a list and put that out every week, can we do that since people weren't able to attend?
Yeah, most definitely. I think that's great. I know Daryl's online as well. So our comms, if we can take note, Daryl, and to look to see how we can look to Michelle's suggestion. I know there was even, there's one athlete as well. I know we have a swimmer that's doing crazy amounts of work. And so I'll look to pass along all that information too. So just again, that we're equally recognizing and fairly recognizing everybody's accomplishments. Thanks, Daryl, for your comment in the chat. So we'll work with you and Michelle as well, just to see in terms of our comms and how we can do just that.
Chief, I got a comment.
Sure. Over to Sherry Lynn and then Helen.
Yeah, I think also too, if the community has, because we can't think of everybody, and if the community has their family members or whatever, please let us know so we don't miss anybody with the information.
Yes, that's a great and further great suggestion. Thanks for that. Sherry Lynn, over to you, Helen.
Yeah, I think maybe I like Michelle's idea. I think we should maybe try and keep like maybe a monthly tab or a quarterly tab of all of the athletes that are doing things, and then maybe make mention every quarter of all of their accomplishments, because I know the old Masters just won their provincial championships over the weekend. The lacrosse, and of course the Chiefs are working up to it too, because they've won most of their games already. So if we could keep a monthly tab of all of the athletes, and you're right, Michelle, I know my niece never attended the ceremony because she was playing hockey or something, so, but then we can recognize them as we go through the year, maybe. I know we can, it's be something for the new council, but we can start it at least, get it started, and then the new council can carry it on. So we could try and do that.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I do appreciate all these suggestions and agree with all of them. So we'll work with comms, and I think that's a good point, Helen. Just because I know there's so much happening within the community, and again, we want to fairly recognize everybody and their accomplishments. So we'll work with Daryl to put something together in the meantime and get that out to our community. Just to Sherry Lynn's suggestion, if there's any further athletes, we our goal isn't to miss anyone. We want to try to be inclusive to everybody, so we could use some community's assistance as well in getting names and teams and accomplishments, so that we can again further recognize. Okay, is there any further questions or comments?
I do, Mark. Yeah, now that we've identified again another communication problem and involving the community and others. I hopefully today we're going to talk about the bus that's going to be going to Ottawa on the 20th, because I think that's important. That I think we wanted to fill that bus up, and others may want to drive concerning the Métis. Thanks.
Yes. Okay, thanks for that, Melba. Are there any further questions or comments? I believe we're still on the Parks and Recreation August 23 report. And again, just want to echo Sherry Lynn's comments, and again, thanking all of our staff over at Parks and Rec. I know it's been busy. So at this point in time, if there are no further questions or comments in relation to that report, I'll look to a mover and seconder. Moved by Greg, seconded by Audrey. Are there any further questions or comments? Okay, seeing or hearing none, all in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The next portion on the agenda is under scheduling. This one, 7-1, again, is invitation from Mayor Leggett of the City of Cambridge. This one is actually coming up quickly. On the 14th, I am looking for a counselor to attend, if anyone is available or interested to attend this event. The information should be within your Dropbox. I think it begins at 4:30 p.m. on the 14th. And again, this is all in part and parcel of all of our work in terms of relationship building. I know I have met with Mayor Leggett a couple of times now. And so this is just, again, furthering the invitation. Is there any interest or availability from council?
Chief, my baby's good to go, so I can go.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that. Michelle, is there any further questions or comments? And if not, looking to a mover and seconder for Michelle to attend. Moved by Audrey, seconded by Helen. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. The next item is in relation to the Jade Treaty Border Alliance. The next meeting there, which will be happening in Calgary on October 11th through to the 13th. I believe also too, just prior to that, is the Iroquois or rather actually just after it, is the Iroquois caucus. And that next one was expected to be in Ottawa. So looking to see if there's any further interest, if anyone else would like to attend the next summit. Helen?
It's my understanding that Trevor Bunbury is attending this as well. These border crossing things now, because it is kind of related to nation building, I guess. So I think him and Sherry probably is sufficient.
Okay, is there any further questions?
Unless somebody else wants to go. I don't, maybe somebody else wants to go.
I'll go.
Okay, thanks for that. Sorry, is that Michelle?
Yeah, that was her.
Okay, I'll look to anyone further to be added. Again, there's been quite a bit of work moved on this file, so I don't think it'll hurt. Looking to add Michelle to the motion. Is there a mover and seconder to that effect? Moved by Audrey, seconded by Nathan, to add Michelle to the motion to attend the J. Trudy Border Alliance, again happening October 11th through the 13th in Calgary. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Okay, I'll look to waive second reading on the two previous scheduling motions. Is there a mover to that effect? Moved by Audrey, seconder. Second by Nathan to waive second reading. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Okay, and I know it's again been a busy weekend. I just wanted to update everybody on our last week's session. I know we will be working with McMaster University for our rescheduling of the visit with the president down to the community. So that will be happening with Dr. Don Martin Hill. Also, as well, I know we've Christopher's online. Christopher, if you want to just touch base, I know we had a meeting with one of the local MPs in Waterloo last week, and as well, we have an upcoming meeting which council is preparing for a visit from Minister Haidu. So, Christopher, if you want to maybe touch base on those.
Yes, for sure, Chief. Just briefly, it's the MP for Kitchener who we basically met and started talking to a few days ago, and who expressed an interest in coming to visit Six Nations. So we're going to be doing that. He's a member of the Green Party. And we recently, we've also had discussions with the leader of the party provincially. We have the Minister of Indigenous Services coming to Canada tomorrow as well. And that visit is taking shape, and we're going to be sending an update around to council later today with an outline of that visit. It will include a follow-up discussion with the chief, as well as a visit to a couple of sites on Six Nations. I'll send more details around later today because those are being confirmed this morning. And then we're looking to have a lunch with council at Six Nations Council building. And again, the details for that will be sent around later, but it will be a chance for all members of council to interact with the Minister of Indigenous Services, Patty Haidu, and to discuss various issues with her.
Okay, thanks. Thanks for that as well, Christopher. Maybe if you want to just touch base with the communique with the PMO's office as well.
Yes, we had approached the Prime Minister's office about a potential meeting with the chief on the margins of the federal cabinet retreat, which is taking place this week in London, Ontario. That cabinet retreat is taking place, I believe, from Tuesday to Thursday. And so Minister Haidu is going to be visiting Six Nations on her way to that cabinet retreat. The Prime Minister's office is unable to accommodate a meeting at this time, but we're going to be pursuing a meeting on staff level between a senior advisor to the Prime Minister and Six Nations staff, and as well as a potential follow-up meeting at some point with the Prime Minister, but we're still trying to work on that.
Okay, thanks, Noah, for that update. Christopher, again, so for further information, will be coming to full council for tomorrow's visit from Minister Haidu's office. Further questions or comments from any other councilors attended or meetings attended? Over to you, Helen.
Yeah, I attended the Chiefs Committee on Housing and Infrastructure, so there'll be a report coming on that. And I attended the Employment King Group that I recently got put on. So there's going to be a report coming from that.
Okay, perfect. Thank you for that, Helen. I know as well for myself, the latest is the Leadership Council, which again was primarily around the Métis, the upcoming Métis event happening on the Hill. So again, more information for that, as Melba alluded to the fact earlier on the coordination of the bus for community members wanting to attend. So we'll have all that information as well. Is there anything further on council's side? I see Audrey.
Yeah, just to let you know, I attended a training workshop with Wendy Dow and Ganaquashra, as well as other programs on the weekend for 2 days. And it was discussing mental health and trauma-informed care. So I'll be sending out a report for tomorrow. And it was absolutely amazing to see the strength in our programs and how much they have to offer for our members, as well as I see that some of the silos are coming down, and that's good news. And I think the continuing to work together like this is really admirable. Yeah.
Really good to hear. Thank you, Nella, for that, Audrey. Okay, council, that does complete our open session for the political liaison for September 11th. At this point in time, I have no further business on our agenda, so I will look to a motion to adjourn. Moved by Helen, seconder,
I'll move, Sherlyn.
seconded by Sherry Lynn. All in favor? Any opposed? Seeing or hearing none, motion is carried. Thank you, Nyawa, to everybody for joining our political liaison meeting for today. I hope you have a great start to your week.